Welcome to Manufacture Dominique Renaud. My name is Rob Corder. I'm the founder and editor-at-large of WatchPro. And we're here today to hear a little bit more about the recently launched Renaud Tixier watch brand and the story around that. But perhaps even just as exciting is the launch at Watches and Wonders, which we can't say too much about, of the first watches that will actually carry just the name of Dominique Renaud on the brand. And we're going to be speaking in just a moment to the chief executive here, Michel Nieto, who's going to be describing how this incredible company came together, the exciting, talented young watchmakers, and how they're going to be developing things over the coming years. So with that, sound good? Let's go and take a look inside. Thank you for having us in your office. Sounds like you've certainly been busy since taking over or creating really the manufacturer here. We loved what you did with Renaud Tixier.
Thank you.
First watches.
Thank you.
The Monday is a beautiful, beautiful piece, and we want to talk a little bit about that. But I also know you've got a second brand under development which is extremely exciting as well. But maybe just give us a very quick description of how Renaud Tixier came about.
2.5 years ago, we met Dominique Renaud with our actual chairman, is Jean-Luc Herrand. Jean-Luc Herrand is crucial in this company because he launches the idea to create something. He was the one who creates I would say, the strength and the power to go not fast, but to do things one step after the other step. So Jean-Luc is crucial in this company, and you will see in the coming weeks. I will explain you how this small brand is evolving into an ecosystem of different talents to work for what we call the horlogerie and for our brands. Yeah. So how it started 2.5 years ago. We started with the idea to create a brand around Dominique Renaud because Dominique is a genius. He's a genius. He's recognized by everybody in this industry. Sure. For more than 40 years he worked and he created, you remember Renaud Papi, end of the 80s with Giulio Papi. So they were the first factory at that time to develop complicated movements for brands. That's how they started. Then
so many big names in the watch industry came through that.
All the big names, yeah. I would say all the big names. At that time, you need to remember that in the 70s or during the 80s, brands were modifying what they did in the past, but not creating new ideas, new creations, new complication or movements. They were just adapting what they had in their drawers. Yeah. So that's why coming with this idea of with Giulio and Dominique creating a factory to develop new complication, it was absolutely an immense success, an immediate success. So we have the chance to create. We started with Dominique, Jean-Luc, and myself to create a company around Dominique ideas, around this genius. Dominique is not someone who is leading or doing finance. Dominique is an inventor, a pure inventor. He's also an entrepreneur. In the past, he created his own company. When DR1, he has a second company with DR1. The first company was Renaud Papi, the company. So he's also an entrepreneur. Yeah. But probably it's not the very good manager to manage supply chain, to manage suppliers, finance, investors, voilà. So we said with Jean-Luc that we will create an environment around him to put professional people, senior management around him, to let him create, to be creative, and then we organize everything around him to be successful. He deserves to have his name on the dial, to have his own brand.
So how did Julien Tixier come into the story?
Dominique and Julien met years ago because Julien was interested in meeting Dominique when Dominique launched his DR01, a very, very special watch, complicated. Then Dominique was the one who invented a watch called Tempus Fugit watch, a very complicated movement. And he thought he needed at that time a watchmaker. So he thought, there is a young watchmaker, Julien Tixier. I will ask him to do the movement by hand. This is what they did. Together, Julien and Dominique, they create the watch, Tempus Fugit. And then they worked on the second project, was a perpetual calendar for Furlan-Marie, the watch for only watch. So they worked already together.
Yeah.
And when we start this project with Dominique, this new project, one day a young guy, long hair, hat, came in our small office we rent at that time, just to be the three of us together. And he said to us and to Dominique, if you need me to do one component, I can do one component for you. And in fact, day after day, week after week, Julien Tixier made by himself, by hand, in his atelier in La Vallée de Joux, 100% of the components of the movement, 100%. So we talked to Dominique and we decided, and Dominique was totally convinced that to put Julien Tixier on the dial with Dominique, now it's Renaud Tixier, the two names, it was something normal, something evident. It was an evidence to Dominique, and Julien accepted. So Julien is the one who defined the finishing of the product, the extremely polished components, the inner angles. We have 187 inner angles, so it's crazy. We have a full fire enamel on the movement, hand engraving. So all these elements of the finishing of the product were defined and set by Julien.
Yeah.
So Julien put the quality of the product here. The movement has been invented by Dominique. He worked with Alexandre Bugnon, the technical designer. And what I say, the techniques, the inventions, the patent, it's Dominique. The finishing, the beauty of the movement is Julien.
Yeah. And the extraordinary thing about the movement is it's got a completely new way of generating its power, really, with the micro-rotor.
Yeah.
Is it easy enough to explain how that works?
It's really easy to explain in few words. You have a micro-rotor and you have something in the center, which is a wheel we call inertia wheel in platinum. When the micro-rotor stops moving, because you do a small shock like this, it stops. The inertia wheel in platinum is centered, and this wheel will continue to spin. And to charge the barrel, it's fully charged 40% faster.
Yes, I like the coherence of the story in a way, because you're talking about Dominique coming up with the completely new way of generating the power. That means you can use a micro-rotor. Micro-rotors, in my opinion, make beautiful movements because they expose more of everything else that's going on around it. You can often make them slimmer because you don't have a full-size rotor. And then that means that you can put all of the skills of Julien to work as well with the finishing of that movement that can be seen more beautifully. So it's a lovely sort of coherent story, I think.
Absolutely. It's a combination of two worlds, and this finishing, this added value of Julien, as you're saying, this idea of micro-rotor opening, letting us and Dominique to create a new architecture of the movement. When I say architecture, it's really because you have volumes, different volumes. You go inside, it's open, you've seen the product, it's absolutely different in terms of architecture.
Yeah.
It's not a flat movement, it's something with levels and depths. So it's really a combination of the two.
And it's also rare. You know, I think it was unveiled in 2024. You started to deliver in 2025. And we should say, I don't think we've mentioned the name. It's called a Monday. And by the way, there'll be 6 more watches to make it to Monday to Sunday eventually. But the Monday, 187 pieces, and they're being delivered over three or four years, and then that will be it, finished.
Yes,
no more.
No more. You will have a Tuesday coming in end of 28, And in the middle, we are thinking of having an evolution of Monday, improving what Monday is today, improving Monday. So this could happen. It will not be called Monday. It's Monday something, Monday evening, Monday afternoon, Monday whatever. But it will be a different Monday. It will be an improvement of it. And then Tuesday, it's already in our computers. It's not finished, but it's like the Monday. It will be a real improvement of something about the movement, and totally new.
And that's kind of the mission for Dominique Renaud, is to take, not necessarily to do grand complications, but to take parts of movements that have been made for centuries and take a particular part of it and say, well, this can be improved, this can be refined.
When I met the collectors, when I showed the product, they were so excited, not because they were seeing a tourbillon, a watch with 2 tourbillons, 3 tourbillons, 4 tourbillons. They were looking at the product. They were looking at the product with a real improvement in one of the 2 fundamentals of the watchmaking, which is energy. An improvement about energy. First man, Dominique, inventing something to improve by 40% a micro-rotor.
And the watches you decided are going to be sold through retailers, not directly. And you've got some phenomenal partners around the world. I know most of the ones, but